Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi. I'm trying to figure out how to send this to somebody, so bear with me. I'm not real good at this part of it. How's everybody doing today? I can use a whiteboard with you guys. I just learned that. Ha ha! You better watch out. I don't know how to do that. Okay, I'm not going to invite them. Forget it.
Are you melting yet?
I am melting. You guys want to know something crazy?
Yeah.
Tell me as soon as you can see this, okay? Can you see that?
No.
It's 122 degrees.
Oh, jeez.
Only in Widget's world. One of my best friends says, "Oh, this stuff only happens in Widget's world." We are early today. Anybody have anything they want to pick my brain about right out of the gate? Anybody? Nobody has anything to pick my brain about? Come on.
Patty, I have a question. When you're, not interviewing, but like, what is it when you're getting applications and
Screening.
yes, screening.
Screening.
There we go. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. When you're screening and you're meeting with, people and everything, and you're showing the rental property. I know this shouldn't be done, but you kind of judge a little bit on, are they presentable, have all their paperwork and, all of those things. If you have a household that has it all together, but is missing like one pay stub, and you have another household who maybe seems a little bit all over the place, but has all their stuff, do you tell the household that, maybe has it together that no, it's incomplete and don't accept it? Or what's that gray area for you?
I don't accept incomplete applications.
Even though that's, potentially the household that you would rather go with?
Yep, I don't accept incomplete applications. Let me tell you how this has helped me, okay?
Okay.
Had a guy apply for a property. He applies for himself and puts an additional occupant listed on there. It's a female. And I asked him, "Oh, who's this that'll be living with you?" And he says, "Oh, that's my girlfriend." And I said, "Oh, she's going to have to apply too. She's an adult." And he said, "Well, she won't be out here for 6 months." And I said, "Well, then you can come back and apply when she's here." He's all, "You're denying my application." "No, I'm not. I'm not accepting it. It's incomplete. Your girlfriend's application isn't attached."
Okay, got it.
I don't accept incomplete applications. What that does is, and you know this from being in the business, sometimes you have 40 applications you got to go through, and we take them in corporate America first come, first serve, right? So you got to approve or deny. But now you have an incomplete application there that's holding up the show. So by not accepting incomplete applications, nobody's holding up the show. And you're not chasing people to get what you need. Make sense?
Yes, got it. Thank you.
So I just don't accept incomplete applications. It needs to be completed and you need to have all the documents, and that would put you as the first person in line. Without it being complete, I don't have a line.
Even if it's like a household with actually, like a real W-2, and then it's like, okay, my backup application is somebody that's, like we were discussing the other day, uncollectible. You know, it's like, oh, I really don't want to, I mean, okay, I shouldn't say don't want to go with that one, but I'd rather bend the rule. I don't know.
Can I say something to you?
Mhm.
In here, you can take off your filter.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Nobody's gonna yell at you if you use a fair housing word that you shouldn't. They all deal with me all day, so they know. The whole team knows. We say things in here that we don't repeat to the tenant, the applicant, blah 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 blah. So in here, you don't have to use the proper verbiage, okay? You can
Okay,
you can
thanks.
take your filter off. Nobody's gonna yell at you
Okay.
unless you say the M word.
The
You know
M
what the
word.
M word? Mold.
Oh, okay, got it.
We don't use the M word. It's worse than the F bomb.
Got it. Okay. So if you do have a household that applies that you just don't get a good vibe from, you know, it's uncollectible income, do you just try to find something where you can, you know, they didn't get approved because of that?
Unfortunately, not everyone meets the credit score. You'll get a letter in the mail in the next 10 days explaining why you were denied.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Patty, I have a question, Patty.
Hi.
Patty,
Oh,
go ahead.
I don't know who was first. I can only stay a few minutes because I have to go into a meeting. Could I ask you a very important question?
Go, Lee. Hurry up, and then we'll
Okay.
take his question.
Okay, so I have a 1,800 square foot house with a 4-car garage in Laguna. The per diem rent is $233. The tenant did not have use of one toilet in an 80 square foot bathroom, just the toilet. There's 2 full bathrooms in the house. It's not a habitability issue. They didn't have use of one of the toilets in the guest bathroom for 9 days, and they didn't have use of 2 of the 4-car garage for 16 days. So how would I calculate their whatever it's called?
Both of those sound like an inconvenience and not a habitability issue. So I
Correct.
would credit them 1/4 of the per diem daily.
Okay, but shouldn't I separate it between the toilet per diem and the garage per diem, because I think the toilet per diem is, I don't know, there's plenty of parking space on the street. What do you think?
They both have the same value. If you want to give them more of a credit, you can do that.
Minimum 0.25% of the 25% of the per diem for all the days total that they were inconvenienced.
Inconvenience. Good word.
And if they're overlapping, so if both the toilet and the garage on the same day, it's still the 25%, right?
In my opinion, yes.
Okay, thank you, dear.
In other words, you don't have any set rules in your area. You need to do what's right.
Right. Oh, speaking of what's right, since I have a 4-car garage and I don't charge extra for it, I know I can do a separate parking agreement, but for a single family, I have a demising wall between between the two-car garages. Is it possible to,
Is it connected to the house?
no, detached?
It's completely detached. You can
Completely.
unbundle the parking.
Really? Even for a single family, I could charge them for a 4-car garage if I want.
Yeah, but put that on a commercial contract. And then you're
Right.
going to have to reduce the rent for removing the 4-car garage from the residential contract.
Absolutely. And I also have the option of charging them and just leasing them 2-car garage for I think that's kind of convenient, for comps, right? And then taking away half of the garage. So, yeah, it's hard to even figure out the value. You think $1,000 a month?
You'd have to find garage rent in your area and then go from there.
Thank you, Patty.
No problem. Thank you. David, you had a question?
Yes, Patty. I am curious. Is it okay to screen people before even you give them application or show them the place? For example, you want to know more about them. Is that against fair housing? If I say, well, how much is your income, or how many people will be living, and all that even before I give them the application, or even
Hi.
before I show them?
Hi, you're calling about my house for rent? Sure, it's still available. I'm showing it on Thursday at 4 o'clock for anybody that wants to come have a look. That'll be on Thursday at 4 o'clock. My criteria is you must have a blank FICO score, make a minimum of 3 times the amount of the rent. If you meet that criteria, I encourage you to apply. That's it. That makes sense to you, David?
Yes, but I
Some
cannot
people
ask
will
him.
tell you, I don't make 3 times the rent. Oh, I'm sorry. Good luck in your future endeavors.
Okay, so if I ask him, do you make enough income by asking him how much is your income,
My
how much is the rent?
requirements are that you make 3 times the amount of the rent, have a FICO score of 650 or higher, no evictions, and oh, I'll throw something else in there. At least 1 year of verifiable employment. That's my criteria.
Okay,
If you
Patrick.
meet those criteria, I encourage you to apply.
Okay, I got you.
You can't tell somebody don't apply or you're going to get denied. You can't do that. You have to make it available for everyone. So I encourage you to apply. I encourage you to apply is all you can say, and keep repeating what your criteria is.
Got it. Thank you.
We're see a huge shift in the industry very quickly. Okay, this new security deposit law is gonna cause a ruckus in our industry. Because let me ask you a question, David. Single mom with 2 kids comes to rent from you. She has a 540 FICO score and is going through a divorce. Do you rent to her?
I would say no.
Right. You know all those people with crappy credit that we used to rent to but take a higher deposit? We can't do that anymore. Corporate America isn't going to rent to them. Why should we? Is it our job to save the planet? If corporate America won't rent to them because they don't meet their guidelines, why would I rent to them? Corporate America has the deep pockets, not little old me. This is what I mean. Of you and I are going to be seeing a big shift going on in our industry in the very near future. Sorry, I'm letting people in.
Hi, Patty. This is Suri. And
Hi,
I have a question. I have 2 apartments that still have carpeting, and it's all intact. There are no holes or rips, anything. One under a chair, under the desk, it has some bunching up. So it's probably the padding that is eroded. And so
no,
I said,
it needs to be restretched.
I know, but the stretching is almost as much as replacing a carpet. So I wanted to replace it. Oh no, it's very difficult to move everything, heavy furniture and all that. Would just a clear pad, one of those for the office chairs, putting it over the carpet work?
You can do that and have her put in writing that she does not want the carpet replaced.
Okay, because it's a safety issue as far as I'm concerned.
You don't tell her that, but have her put in writing that she doesn't want the carpet replaced.
Okay, got it. Thank
because
you.
if she tries to sue you later saying that, the carpet's in bad shape, the owner knew about it, then you have a piece of paper saying she didn't want it done and she signed it.
All right. Okay.
Okay. I'm trying
Got
to
it.
save you from a future problem.
Right. That's why I'm asking the question.
No
Thank you.
problem. Just so you guys know, and I already asked, it is 122 degrees in the car right now. I even took a picture. It's insane. So forgive my blowing hair, but damn, I don't want to go outside. I will melt. Patty will melt. All right. Anybody else have anything?
I do, Patty. I have some houses in Bellflower which is an incorporated city in Los Angeles County. One tenant has a rental agreement that is about 20 years old, and they're blind people. Their
They're
their
what
daughter,
people?
blind, yes, visually
Blind,
impaired.
blind. I got you. I thought you said bright people, and I'm like,
Oh,
huh? Huh?
sorry, I'm talking on my iPad. Maybe it's
It's
not very
okay.
good
It's
sound.
okay. You're fine.
So their daughter, as a child, was on their rental agreement, but she's since grown up and moved away. She desperately wants to move back, but I told her that she can't because she can't pass the credit. She's a very unpleasant person. So, as I understood it, even if someone is on the rental agreement as a child and they move out, they're no longer an occupant. Is that right?
Correct. They vacated.
Okay, that's good news. And also, there's a my the I it wasn't my rental agreement, so there's a blank space where it says what's included in the unit. So it's a 4-bedroom house, and it has 2 one-car garages adjacent to the house, which they're using to store their belongings because obviously they don't drive. And the daughter is insisting, I allow in that driveway, I allow drop off and pick up, of course, for the occupants, but the daughter is insisting to park there, which I don't like, but oh well. But
She's not an occupant. She's not a resident.
so she can't park there.
No, she's not a resident. What do the rules in your rental agreement say?
I'll have to check, but I'm sure she can't. But they think it's their driveway. It's not on the rental agreement that they get the garages or the driveway. So this is a problem because now she's parking her car crookedly so that no one else can park by her, and it's a mess.
So call a local tow truck company, put up their tow truck signs, and the next time she parks like that, tow her vehicle.
Okay, sounds good. That would make me so happy because I'm a brat. Thank you.
I am known for being cutthroat, very aggressive.
Yeah, I think that'll work with her. And what about the blank line on the rental agreement? What they want a copy of the rental agreement, which I just dug up and saw that there's no provision for the garages or the driveway for them.
Okay, but you rented it to them with the garage, right?
Well, my mom did because I inherited the property. So
Okay,
it was,
so you
yeah,
could always give them a 30-day notice to change the terms of tenancy and change the rules.
okay. Okay.
Oh, wait,
Thank you.
Val's piping in. She's got her 2 cents. That's okay. That's what we do here. We all pipe
Yay.
in.
Okay.
Shouldn't Linda give them a 3-day before towing? A 3-day what? Cure or quit for parking in the driveway like that? She doesn't have any rules about the driveway. So if they're blocking someone else, you can just be towed. All right, here we go.
Thank you. Thank you, Val.
Lee, are they asking for a discount? If not, send them a gift card for a restaurant in Laguna. Good choice, Val. BC, are the following considered wear and tear, hence landlord's responsibility? Stop right there. See, every time it says broken is not wear and tear. So stop yourself. If it's broken or damaged, it falls on the tenant. Okay, and I didn't even read what it says. Remember that. Broken or damaged falls on the tenant. Broken shower doors, tenant. Broken toilet handles, tenant. Broken dishwasher rack, tenant. Broken ceiling fans, tenant. Broken window screen, tenant. Holes left in walls from hanging stuff. Is the nail in the wall? If the nail's in the wall, it's wear and tear. If they pulled the nail out and left the hole, that's damage. Broken closet doors, damaged. Burned out recessed lights and bulbs throughout the house. Also, tenant's responsibility. Everything you gave me falls on the tenant based on their move-in inspection. How much can we currently charge for credit checks? I believe that dollar amount is $51 and change. Don't charge over 50 bucks. People cough at $50, but it's $50, $51 and change. 50 bucks is a good number. And forgive me, it's gonna change with the CPI, and I don't know it by heart, but it's around 51, 52 bucks, somewhere in there. 50 is a good number, 45 more reasonable. 40 seems to be the industry standard. This tenant is dribbling his deposit payment. My mistake for allowing. He still owes. He promised to pay $100 per month and he's failed to do so. Yep. Pay it towards the deposit, and what he owes is rent. If he doesn't specify on his check that it's for rent, then you can apply it where you need to. This is also the tenant with the adult acoustic mail that damaged his bedroom wall. Oh yeah, no, he needs to pay the deposit. And you can allocate the rental payments towards that. Hi, Patty, are the following I answered that, okay. 3-day, BC got it. Roadrunner, we have a house in San Bernardino County that keeps having septic tank issues. We got it pumped in February and they found it needed a new leach line. We got the new leach line and just last week the tank was completely full again. Can we charge a tenant a portion of the second pumping? Why is it full again? And don't be gross. If the septic tank is full and it was pumped a week ago, you have a leak somewhere. Something is running right into the septic tank. And that's just me talking to you. Because a septic tank don't fill up in a week. It just don't. Val, he sells it. You can apply it where you want to. It's a 4-bedroom home, 2 adults, 2 kids. Septic tank wouldn't be full in a week. There's no way. You have a leak somewhere, or the tenant is letting the toilet run, the shower run. Playing along yet? If you got a running toilet, you got a problem. I don't know that I'd charge that back to the tenant unless I could prove that the tenant did something. Because if the tenant didn't do something, they're not responsible. Go have a leak detection test done at that house. In other words, send the plumber out there to make sure there's no running toilets, there's no leaky faucets, because something is filling up that septic tank. And it's not just poop. But a plumber should know this, not Patty. Does that make sense? I know a little bit about a lot of things, but something's not right there.
Patty, I'm not an expert, but what if when they pump it, they see what is in it, inside the pump, what they extracted?
Right. So see if they're extracting solid stuff or more liquid stuff like you have a leak. A running toilet will fill up a septic tank quick. We're just trying to be helpful. Brainstorming with you, baby. Melanie, Larso, tenant hasn't paid rent increase. If we send a reminder a 3-day, can we include late fees? I know regarding late fees, but the owner is asking. Late fees cannot go on a 3-day notice to pay rent or quit. It voids the notice. So the answer is no. Roadrunner girls, we did an inspection of the inside of the house and found nothing. Then ask the expert, why did this happen again? You replaced the leach line, you pumped the tank, it didn't collapse. What's the problem and why is this happening? And if he can't answer you, hire a different plumber. I live with a septic tank. Me too. We had a problem after pumping. We physically saw a crack between the chambers. It was cheaper for us to expand our leach lines versus replace the tank. Seems fine now, but that was the problem. What I'm saying, something's wrong with the septic. There's something going on there. Is this allowable in the rental agreement? Rent is dispersed as follows. Past due, non-rent items, past due rent, and lastly, current rent. What you're saying doesn't make sense, and you don't have to put it in the rental contract to enforce how you do your accounting. What the law says is that if a tenant specifically tells you what that rental payment is for, that's where you have to apply it. That's what the law says. So because he didn't specifically designate where that money was supposed to be allocated, he applied it to deposit first and then the rent.
But
Got that?
Patty, so the previous company that I worked for, they had that clause in there, in the rental agreement. So,
It doesn't have to be anymore.
but you said if it's specified rent, it's in your rental agreement that no, we can apply it accordingly. So if you have past due late fees, we're going to distribute it to those late fees first, and then past due rent, and then lastly, whatever's remaining, current rent. Like that's the whole point of it being in the rental agreement, right? I mean, that's how we had it.
Just because you put in your rental agreement that the tenant waives their right to a jury trial, does that mean they don't get a jury trial?
Mm, okay.
Just because you put it in your lease doesn't make it legal.
Okay.
Sometimes we put things in our lease as a deterrent, and we're not going to act on them. Right?
Got it. So then put it in and then you can't act on it essentially, or don't put it in, or I always put it
Doesn't
in as
matter.
a safeguard.
It doesn't matter. If they put on their May rent check, this check is for April's rent, you have to apply that to April. Doesn't matter what your lease says. You have to follow the law.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
No problem. And they wrote an assembly bill in one of the COVID BS assembly bills that came out. I want to say it was 1038, but don't hold me to that, okay? They had an assembly bill in there during the COVID period that you had to apply rent when it was received, and any overages went to future rents and nothing went in the rears unless the tenant put in writing that it went in the rears. So that was a big hiccup, but we got over that. We got through that, and I'm glad that's behind us.
Patty, can you repeat if you can apply the check past due and then for non-rent items, so like the deposit and then current rent? What is the order?
The order is this: if you send me a payment and you don't specify where it goes, I'm going to pay all your past due rents and charges and apply the balance to the current month.
Okay, thanks.
Everybody got that? If the tenant gives you a check and in the check it says for May's rent, you can only apply it for May's rent and you cannot pay any bills with it. Okay? If they don't specify, you can allocate the funding as needed.
That's bad.
We don't want to educate tenants on all the rules, okay?
That's true.
We just don't. Somebody's begging me to send them a link and I can't. I don't know how. And I'm supposed to, it says I can share my screen, my photos, I can share a whiteboard with you guys. I want to figure out how to do that because hang on, we're going to mess around a little bit, okay? A new whiteboard. What does that do? Preparing your whiteboard experience. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm sorry. Can you see a whiteboard I'm writing on or no?
Yes.
Oh,
It's
and
hot.
I put hot. Okay. So, okay, Patty's playing around. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I can only do this when I'm with you guys. All right. Anybody else have any questions? Remember, 1 month's rent maximum as a security deposit. It is in effect right now. Wait, what about those people applying that have really crappy credit that are willing to pay me a year in advance? Taking advance rents is a bad business practice. Don't do it. And if you do it, please understand what you're signing up for.
Patty, do you, whatever the credit score criteria is, do you require that from each individual or from each adult, I should say, or as long as one person has it?
Remember one thing, if they're married, they're protected as one. So you can't ask a stay-at-home mom to have the same FICO score and the same income or meet that criteria because she is part of the husband.
Got it. I did not know that. Okay.
Marital status is a protected class in the state of California. I have a serious problem. The keys for the car that I'm sitting in just went down the crack of doom. Oh my God. I can't be stuck in this car all day. I got him. I got him.
What if an older son, let's say 28 years old, lives with them? Is that protected? A son, a family, relative that 28 years or, past 18, are they protected as a family member or no? No.
No, family members aren't protected, but children are.
Children under the age of 18, right?
Once they turn 18, they're an adult and they need to qualify on their own unless they're disabled.
Thank you.
No problem. Everything's honky-dory with the boyfriend and girlfriend because you're not going to allow the girlfriend to move in until they go get married, and then you have to allow it. Make sense?
No, I didn't get that. If it's just a boyfriend, girlfriend, they're protected, not married?
They're not protected. Hey, David, I've been
Yeah.
living in your house for 5 years, paying you the rent as your tenant. I show up with a new dude and tell you, hey, this guy lives with me now. He's my husband. Can you do anything about it?
I don't know the answer.
No, they're married. That's a protected class. You have to allow it. That wife's been living in the house for 5 years, paying the rent with no problem. Can't
Even-
discriminate now. You can't
Yeah.
discriminate now.
Even if
However,
they- Yeah.
Hey, David, I have a new
Yes.
boyfriend. He's going to move in with me, okay?
What I'm asking is, let's say 5 years without getting married, they're living together. Are they protected or no?
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
Not until they get married. Then they're protected.
And I have to ask them the certificate of marriage or what?
I have. So that I can change the lease and allow it for the new name.
Okay, sorry to ask you this question also. What if they are lesbian and gays? What is the rule of that?
It doesn't matter. Husband and wife is husband and wife. If it's wife and wife or husband and husband, if they're legally married, they are protected. And don't be sorry about asking that, okay? I am now attending a class so that I get my identifying properties correct so that I'm not offensive to anyone.
Thank you.
Hey, I gotta learn that. I don't know that. Sometimes they don't want to be called she or he, or it's they or their and ours and yours. And I got to get all those things right because I don't have that correct. But I can't help you guys if I don't know. So I'm learning that right now so that I don't offend anybody.
Thank you, Patty. You wonderful.
You got it. Val's asking me a question. Hang on. I saw it there. And I figured out how to get to my texting. Aren't you guys proud of me? I figured that out. A 69-year-old Section 8 woman moves in with her daughter and 14-year-old grandson who are not included on the voucher. How do you handle that? Contact the worker immediately. In our house rules, we say any extra occupant must pay $150 per month. What if they've been together for 7 years? Isn't that considered married? Not in the state of California. There's no more common law. They must have a marriage certificate. Period. End of report. They do allow same-sex marriages in the state. And as far as I know, now they have people identifying, and I'm sorry, you guys, they have people identifying as dogs and cats now and not as humans. Somebody's not muted and I can hear you laughing out loud. That's not okay. I have this to say and only this to say. I don't care who you love or who you sleep next to because your personal business is your personal business. Fair enough? Okay? So it doesn't matter who you love or who you sleep next to. Why should that matter to anybody else? And if you have a problem with the way you identify, remember this. After you die, a paleontologist 500 years from now could identify your bones as male or female. And if that's a problem for you, you need help here. Here. Okay? Because what other people think shouldn't matter. I'm just saying. You got to live your life for you, not for other people. Okay, now I'll get off my high kick of all of the things that are going on. And yeah, okay, I'll be quiet now.
Patty, what if you have a tenant, a good tenant, and they get a new partner? They rented as a single person. Now they meet somebody and they want them to move in. So can you just do a background check as if it was a new tenant and then add them to an addendum to add them to the lease and then charge, like if you're on your lease, original lease, it said 10% more or something. Can you do that? If they qualify.
Under Larceau, it's a 10% increase for an unauthorized occupant. Under statewide rent control, if you're charging that 150 and you're governed by statewide rent control, that 150 is an illegal rent increase and not allowed.
But
The
Larceau,
only
it
way
is.
to combat that, right under Larceau, it's allowed. The only way to combat that, and let me rewind my brain, hang on, is to put them in a whole new contract. In the event you put them in a whole new contract, you better not have a higher security deposit or you're going to have a problem.
Mhm. So, but they'd have to be out of their original lease, right? They'd have to be month to month to even do that.
No, they don't.
Why?
Because you can agree to sign a new rental contract under new terms, and that would supersede the contract that's already on file. New
Okay.
terms is adding a new occupant.
I see. Would you have to get something in writing from the initial tenant to?
Why they're
To
going to
approve?
sign the new contract, adding the
Okay.
person, and that's what they want.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Patty, do you make sure to go back and do that for children that have become adults? So they, family applies, they are under the age of 18 now, 5 years later, now they're adult children. Is it wise
They
to
need
go
to
back
be
and add
added
them?
to the rental contract as a leasee. I always try to do that when they turn 18. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because if mom and dad decide to screw around, lose their jobs, file bankruptcy, go through an eviction, they're not going to put any of that on their kid. But I now have a lease contract and I can garnish their kids' wages.
Okay, got it. More people you can go after, the better. And how often, or do you do annual inspections for single family residences or single family homes?
No, I do biannual.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay, thank you.
Spring
I've had it.
forward and fall back when you change the clock is a great time to remember.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Patty.
Patty,
I-
I'm sorry, just to tag on to that question. So when the kid turns 18, do you just do a change of tenancy and add the name, or do you have to do a background and credit and all
You're
that?
not gonna do a background and credit. The kid's been living in his dad's house. He doesn't have any FICO score. Come
Right,
on.
well, that's what I'm saying. So you just do a change of tenancy and just add the name.
And I have him sign as an adult. It makes them feel so important.
Okay, great, thanks.
It's kind of a way to step them up into being in the adult life. Now you're gonna sign a legal contract. Welcome to being an adult. All right, anybody else? I know somebody was waiting.
Yes, Patty Sue. Just to follow up with the same question, regarding about adult children turn 18. I have a tenant that had two of them turn 18 a few years now, and I didn't know until I heard what you said today. So I will modify the contract, have them sign, but do we allow to increase the rent at all?
No.
No? Okay, thank you. Only when they add new more people, then you can modify the contract.
Bingo, right on the nose.
Thank you. Thank you so
No
much.
problem. No problem. And then watch yourself if you're having them sign a whole new lease contract just because you're adding a kid that became an adult. Because if they have a higher security deposit, you can't do a new lease. You can only do an addendum.
So Patty, on marriage, do you just take their word for it?
No, show me the marriage certificate if they just got married. Oh, my new boyfriend just became my husband. Well, I need your marriage certificate so that I can add him to the lease contract.
Got it.
And for those of you that, and forgive me, we just had a conversation. The person before you asked me a question. 2 years ago this happened, and I just learned this today. Here's your verbiage, folks. Get ready. After review of your rental agreement, I realized that we need to add some more addenda to it, and your children have become adults now, so we need to add them as adults to the contract as well. So I have the mold disclosure, the lead-based paint disclosure, the new addendum adding your children as adults to the contract. We just need everybody to come in and sign so we have all this new protections in place so that your contract is current and up to date with all the new laws.
Patty,
Everybody got
I'm
it?
sorry.
It's how I spell that.
I'm sorry, I was quickly, I turned away, but I heard what you said. Is that possible? You can repeat one more time?
Okay, usually I say when somebody has one more question, it's $1. If somebody wants me to repeat something, that's $2.
All right.
Because my brain works so fast sometimes, I gotta rewind to even realize what I said. What was I talking about?
To have adult children turn 18.
Here we go. After review, I just reviewed your rental contract in its entirety and saw that we need to make some changes and some upgrades. We haven't upgraded it in like 2 years. Your children have become adults. We need to add them to the contract as adults. And there's a couple of disclosures on file that weren't in your file. So I need to make sure that you have all of those. And if you guys could all come in so we could sign and add the kids to the addendum, it would be greatly appreciated.
What if they refuse to sign?
What city is it in?
It is city, Temple City, but it's under unincorporated.
DCBA LA County. So
Right.
you want to offer them and tell them you're selling this to them. We need to upgrade your contract. It doesn't have all the disclosures that protect you in there. I also saw that your children have become adults. So we need to add them to the contract as adults. Forgive me for not doing that as soon as that happened. I just found it today. So would you guys be willing to come in and sign the addendum? Adding your kids to the contract as adults? And is there anything else I can do for you today?
I see. Another question I have is many years ago, they moved in like $1,000 security deposit, but today the rent is $1,300. Do I have the right to bump up the security deposit to 1 month's rent?
In Temple City, you're allowed to raise the rent by 8.8%, if I'm correct, yes?
No, this is unincorporated.
Okay, and how much is a rent increase allowed in the city?
I think 4.275.
Then that's how much you can raise the deposit by until you equal 1 month's rent, and that's all.
Okay,
And
got
in
it.
some cities, they don't allow you to increase the deposit past the lease inception. So whatever money you took when they moved in is all you can get.
I
You
see.
can't
I
ask for
see.
more of a deposit.
Got
I'm
it.
sorry. So some municipalities do not allow you to increase the deposit amount. So you need to check and make sure before you do that.
Thank you.
No problem. Anybody have anything else? Because it really is 122 degrees in this car and I want out.
A quick question, a mother giving birth, after what age the child is an extra person?
Children are a protected class in the state of California. If you have a maximum occupancy limit, that becomes a different set of facts, and I would start addressing that after the child turns 6 months old.
Thank you.
No problem. I'd talk about it, but I wouldn't address it. When can you ask the age of minor children? You can't. You can put on the application status when they're filling it out additional occupants, and you could put their name and their age. Because some adults are still considered, no, they're not, they're adults. Some disabled adults still have protections with their parents as a child. Did I say that properly? I'm not trying to offend anybody. Some disabled adult children have their parents as their power of attorney. So in their parents' eyes, they're still a child because they still sign everything for them. Does that make sense? So you got to watch for that. But asking the ages of minor children, sometimes you can put it on the application to see what the ages are and see if they fill that out. The name and age of the people that are occupying the premises. To answer your question, I believe that's on the application. And in all fairness, the only time an age matters for children in my mind is from birth to 6 months old and at age 18. Those are the two dates I care about. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I am a little ridiculous. All right, you guys, I'm going to get out of this car. I am on fire. Wednesday nights. Last Wednesday of every month, we're doing a Widget's Way at 7 p.m. So we're doing a nighttime Widget's Way on Wednesday night at the last Wednesday of each month. I'll let you guys know when that is. Upcoming on the 30th of this month, we have Agla's webinar with Widget. On the 30th, I think we're going to do the emotional support animals. We're going to have the whole class about that. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you sign up. And if you guys need anything else, please feel free to let me know. Reach out to me. I'm here to help you. Bye. Oh, wait, let me check the chat. Get out of your sauna, Patty. Thank you. I want to. Yes, yes, yes. All right, you guys have a great week. If you need me, hunt me down. I love you lots. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.